Welcome to the Through the Table podcast with Tom, Rick, Russ, JL, and Brian.
Can we talk about AJ versus Shawn Michaels?
Oh God.
Please do.
Who's reporting this?
There's a lot of rumors.
Some
from
guy named
windows
James.
going around. Yeah, Andrew James Shanley.
Hi, guy.
Oh God, I'm an insider.
Well, obviously AJ did the pose at the Royal Rumble, so
That's a lead in.
That could be the start.
He's been lobbying for that match for about 4 years, though, too. So
Hasn't Shawn too, or is it just AJ?
Shawn doesn't want to work anymore.
Shawn wants no.
What if it was what if it was a movie style match?
He said after that Saudi show when he came back for that one that was the worst decision he's ever made in his life, is to come back and work that tag match.
I don't know. I've paid attention to his career. I can think of a few other decisions that might have been worse. Perhaps
I
one in
think
Syracuse.
it's saying coming out of retirement more than anything else.
Yeah, movie star match though. Isn't that? We'll get to that in a minute. The new EC3 company. But what if it was a movie star match? Russ was asking.
Can make it work, but I mean, you got a talented worker like AJ. I wish. So this is where you wish that you had a time machine, right? So you could get AJ Styles. I would even say 4 years ago, AJ Styles, combined with Shawn Michaels in his prime.
That sells match. WrestleMania to me.
Yeah,
that's headlining.
Best match you're going to see all year. But guess what? Shawn Michaels is in his mid-50s. He can barely move. And, you know, AJ is no spring chicken anymore, even though he's probably the most talented guy in the roster. It's not something I want to see. It isn't.
How old is AJ, you said? How much was it again?
He's like 46, 45, 46,
47,
45, I think.
Wow.
I mean, he would do well on this podcast.
He's one of our viewers.
I mean, the thing is if this is true and it's all the, I guess, the rumors and, you know, stuff I've been seeing about like the projected card of WrestleMania at this point, it's I mean, other than like Brock and Roman, there's really nothing I'm looking forward to on that show. You know what I mean? If you're really going to do Kevin Owens and Stone Cold, if that's a thing, I've heard that there's the AJ Shawn Michaels. I guess it's all pointed to Sami Zayn, Johnny Knoxville.
Yep.
You know what I mean? I don't know.
Look,
what else is the projected Mania? Is that it so far?
Beats me.
And then you got Ronda and Charlotte.
Yep.
And then
Ronda, they have to edit all of my segments, Rousey.
And then what? Becky Bianca, maybe.
That's what it looks like, but who knows?
Should be.
I mean, I would like to see Becky Bianca. It's not. I'm not like I need to stop and watch WrestleMania, but
that would get you to buy tickets.
No, it wouldn't get me to buy tickets at all. But I would still. I mean, I would probably enjoy that match.
Sure.
But it's not like, oh my god, you know what I mean? It's not like
you have to go out of your way to see it.
You know, yeah. It's. I mean, I don't know. It's not like even this they're still announcing matches for the Saudi show. They just keep adding women.
It's tomorrow.
They're
still announcing it.
They just keep adding more women's matches.
Which is crazy.
Oh, they're so getting held hostage again.
There's literally like 4 of them.
Yeah.
Half the card is women's matches, which that's great, but it's like, you pick Saudi Arabia to
The crowd
put all
could
these
care
on.
less.
Right.
They don't care about the women now.
Is there another pay-per-view this month from WWE?
No, this is
Nope,
it.
That's
This
it.
is it.
Blood money or nothing.
Is WrestleMania 2 nights?
Yes.
Yes.
Yep.
Yep.
And then
Look.
SmackDown and the Hall of
and they
Fame
have
are
like
the same night.
they have like 3 matches.
Am I excited that Austin's going to wrestle again?
Nope.
This is a double-edged sword
Yes.
for me because I've been waiting 20 years for him. But here's the problem. It's been 20 years.
Owens could carry him, right?
No,
I don't know.
No.
I don't know. And I don't know what condition he's going to be
Yep.
in. He looks fantastic.
Yeah,
he still
does.
has that, but like there's a big difference between coming in and being Steve Austin and not having that in-ring cardio for 20 years.
Mm-hmm.
It's a long time. That's a very long time. And to have your first match back to be at WrestleMania, the biggest like 2 nights of the year, your Super Bowl, it's exciting in one hand, but on the other hand, it's disappointing. It's disappointing as a wrestling fan. This is what they have to do. They have to bring back Austin, The Rock, The Undertaker. They were disappointed that Shane's not around anymore.
Mhm.
They've got to bring back these attractions to get people to go, to get people to watch. Meanwhile, and I had this debate the other night with a friend of mine, there's nobody on this roster, save for maybe Roman Reigns. There's no one on this roster right now that 20, 25 years from now, you're going to get a hard on when they come back for a WrestleMania. There's just nobody.
Right.
There's no one.
Mhm.
I get hard-ons for a lot of people. So
I mean, that's why I said that.
Thank you,
But
JL.
seriously, though, like, what are you going to do 20 years from now? Oh, my God, here comes Madcap Moss. No one cares. No one's going to care about Madcap Moss in 20 years.
Even look at the Royal Rumble, like that women's Rumble. It's like, oh my God, it's Summer Rae, and it's like, oh, okay.
Who gives a shit?
Yeah,
People,
all right.
want to see Roman Reigns. People want to see The Miz.
All
that's
right,
true.
that's I said except Roman Reigns. I dispute your Miz one on that one, and I don't think he's going to push the needle. He's not going to co-main event a WrestleMania 20 years from now. I just don't see that happening. What's upsetting, and Russ, as a WWE guy, this should bother you too. They're not making anybody anymore. They're not making anyone anymore. You can argue Braun Breaker, but he's such in his infancy in this journey that who knows what's going to happen to him. He could tear his ACL tomorrow and never be the same guy again. Who knows?
But they're still not going to push him. Like nobody will ever be Stone Cold or The Rock anymore.
No.
There will never be another one. And I'm not saying that because they're irreplaceable or nobody can touch them. It's WWE won't allow anybody anymore to be as big as the WWE. We've all said it. We've all said it plenty of times on this podcast that WrestleMania isn't about matches anymore. It's a destination.
The
It's
spectacle.
It's just exactly.
Right.
I'm gonna pay $300 something for a ticket. I'm gonna sit way back, maybe get burned by some pyro. And that's it. And then I'm gonna sit there for 9.5 hours, maybe get sunburnt. But people do it all the time. People come from all over the world. That's great, but it's not to see anybody.
It's worrisome to me that there isn't anyone I can look to on this roster. And again, save for someone who's already established like Roman Reigns. And they shoved him down our throats long enough until he finally did get over. And thank God for Paul Heyman. Well, that never would have happened. But you look at this roster and it's filled with mid to low card guys that they're trying to make something happen with. And it's frightening how irrelevant these guys are. Irrelevant. There's nobody on this roster that gets me excited. There's nobody. And here's the thing too. They've built Roman and Brock up to the point where who can beat them? Who do you care about beating them? Who's on the roster that you look at? I used to do this all the time. I started doing this in the mid 90s during the new generation era because people were leaving. Hogan left, Savage left. And I used to take a look and I said, who are the world title contenders? You have Shawn Michaels, okay, Razor Ramon, blah, blah. And you go down the list and you count them. I look at the roster now. Who are the world title contenders? Who's someone that could seriously go for the title? That you say, hey, that guy's got a legit chance. There's nobody. That's the frightening thing. That's something that should worry people. Yes, they're making money hand over fist. The Saudi prince is giving them millions upon millions of dollars. Universal's giving them money. Fox is giving them money. They're getting all of this money. Great. Congratulations. You're making money. And that's literally all they care about. But here's the thing. Their long-term sustainability is in serious doubt. Meanwhile, I'm not saying AEW is going to overtake WWE. I'm not one of those people. But what I'm saying is you look at their roster and you look at guys like Sammy Guevara, Darby Allin, Wardlow, MJF, Britt Baker. You can go down the list of these people who are 25 years of age or younger and say, holy crap, they have a legit pipeline. I do sales. In sales, you have your people who have already paid, and you have to have people in the pipeline. WWE has no one in the pipeline. They're hoping, Russ said it earlier, they're hoping that someone like MJF signs with them in 2024 because they can't make an MJF themselves anymore. They used to, but they can't. So they're hoping in 2 years that MJF signs with them because someone else did the work for them because they don't know how to do it. And I'll tell you right now in business, if that's your model, you are going to fail. I don't care how much money that these companies are giving you. You're going to fail.
My favorite model is Kate Moss.
Oh, mine's Rick Martel.
Oh, my. I should have gone with that one. I missed the right one.
There's another guy, too, that they screwed over.
Well, he was in the AWA.
Yeah.
Did it wrong.
Didn't she show up there once? Kate Moss was on WWE TV one.
I think.
I'm sure. Who wasn't?
At some point.
Who wasn't?
What do you think about SmackDown and the Hall of Fame being on the same night?
I think that's weird.
Why would
To be
they do
honest,
that?
for me, it should. I'm just used to it being 2 night, like a Saturday show and it's going to be on Peacock right after. So it's just.
Are they doing it live for us?
Yeah. Sorry.
Oh, I don't know. Go on, JL. I don't know if it's live.
But I didn't hear anything about it being
But
on
I
the
know
same night.
I know it's the same night.
Yeah, I read that it was supposed to be live on the same night, like right after SmackDown. That's all I read.
So
I don't get
wait,
it.
are they doing it? Because I thought I saw that they were actually doing it in between matches. So you'll have like Madcap Moss taking on somebody, and then probably
So are
Drew
they doing it
McIntyre.
in the
'cause,
arena
like,
then?
that's what I read now.
Okay.
Weird.
I have
Hmm.
nothing
that'd
substantiating
be
that,
weird.
but
When they had the tribute to the troops, it's different, obviously, but like
Yeah.
they had SmackDown, and then immediately after they started the tribute to the troops. So I would have thought that they would just do the Hall of Fame immediately after, but like that would be interesting if they
that's a
did.
long night.
Well, they must be in Dallas then, I would assume.
But the way that they did the Hall of Fame last year was real.
Yeah.
But how would you even do the Hall of Fame right after SmackDown?
Very easy. You just bring out a podium and then have a different backdrop.
And then
Unless you tape SmackDown early.
No,
Like, say
SmackDown
start-
would be live.
like,
SmackDown would be live, and then
I'd say start SmackDown at 7:00 on
That's a-
tape delay.
You
So
have
I
to.
would say
That's a
you-
long night.
I would say, but that's the thing. Like, so you're just gonna have the Hall of Fame
or
set
film
up.
it or film it and then show it, like JL said, on Peacock, or maybe since they have like the world's fastest editors, just do it before WrestleMania night 1.
I have to say
they're
though,
already doing the NXT show before WrestleMania.
Yeah.
yeah, 2.
Well,
2
then
o'clock or something.
one night would be the NXT show. One night would be, so then that would give them 2 nights to edit together the Hall of Fame. They could have the Hall of Fame on Sunday, before Sunday, or after WrestleMania or something like that.
But then you can't have the moment during WrestleMania, whether it's night 1 or night 2, where all the Hall of Famers come out on the stage and they introduce each one, and Kid Rock's already left.
Unless they do the Hall of Fame Saturday and they throw NXT to Sunday because nobody will watch it anyway.
Yeah, they could do that.
Well, what about they cut down the number of people who are going to be in the Hall of Fame this year. Like,
There's only
make
one
it
so far.
just the Hour Undertaker.
Yeah, just Undertaker's
Just Undertaker.
That could be interesting.
Just an idea I had.
He deserves to have it his own,
Yeah, like his hour special or something.
And then it would give them time to where last year it was just like, hi, I'm JBL. I wrestled.
Yeah, but that was because of COVID. You know what I mean?
They had to do 2 award shows in one night.
Did 2 award shows in one
so
night
it's
in
kind
front
of
of
hard.
nobody.
Right.
Yeah, but the way they edited it just sucked. It was just like,
But anyway, it's like they tried to cram it all in such a small time slot. It kind of ruined
But at the same time, I'm not gonna lie. That year Ultimate Warrior went in and his speech was like 2.5 hours long, and I'm just sitting there like, Jesus Christ, just.
So was Mr. T's that one year.
Mr. T, right. I was there for that.
That was like 6.5 hours long.
Yeah,
and he said nothing.
And then Kane had to come out.
Yeah, because he wouldn't shut up.
It's like I don't know. I mean, does anyone really even watch the Hall of Fame?
I used to. I thought it was interesting because I used to like watching like the old people come out and talk.
I've gone to it the last couple of years, so yes.
Yeah, I loved watching. And then Hillbilly Jim came out and wouldn't stop.
Well, that's what you get when you work for him.
I only like Jake the Snake Roberts. He's my friend.
Thanks, Jason.
I had belts for you guys.
Did you make one for the baby yet?
Thank you. Thank you very much.
Something completely different.
Impact?
What do people think about
breast milk?
Delicious.
What do you think about people, including the wrestlers themselves, already trying to compare this upcoming dog collar match between MJF and CM Punk to be anywhere close to Greg Valentine, Roddy Piper?
I mean, I've only seen one person projecting that, and that's been Ric Flair, and I think that's just he's trying to get a job.
Yeah, he definitely is.
No, CM Punk's whole thing the other night was like Valentine Piper.
He made reference to it. Yep.
Because MJF
always talks about Piper. And
MJF referred himself to Piper in Portland.
Right.
He's and that's And so as soon as he said Piper in Portland, I was like, oh, they're doing a dog collar match because Roddy Piper and Greg Valentine had the best dog collar match of all time.
Yep.
Almost best match ever.
I wouldn't go that far.
I think the most
Cardona in it.
I thought that I thought there was something that was very interesting and kind of sad when I think it was Excalibur was talking about how the dog collar match could take years off your life, and then I think right on top of that mentioned how the last one was Brody Lee versus Cody Rhodes.
He did that. I was like, oh no.
I was watching. I was like, oh no, that's not good.
He didn't think about that before he said it.
No,
think about that
you could almost feel Shivani and Ross just doing this.
Ross definitely looked over at him. You could tell. You went there.
So, Russ, you kept saying in the chat, for those who don't know, we have a chat going. That
you talk outside of this?
Shh. I'm blowing out walls. That being a fourth wall. It's gone now.
Oh, no.
So, you kept saying they kept mentioning Cody through the whole night, and I only heard the one reference. How many more references?
Three.
I could have got drunk, but with all the times that they brought him up immediately, and then they brought him up like 185 times with the dog collar thing, and then they were just like, "Let's go to the Cody Rhodes commercial break." Like they brought him up so many times. Like, I mean, I get it. Talk about the past, but like. It was just like you lost your girlfriend or something like that, and you're like, oh, like
Well, I think with the dog collar match, it's the only one they've had. So
right, it is.
Really, they have to bring it up.
I mean, you had to say that, or not. They could have just said there's been only one match before, and then like
why hide behind and not say the names though? It's not the WWE. WWE
I mean, you don't have to. You can say it and acknowledge it, but you don't have to. Like
There's no
we
reason
why
not
not,
to,
though?
though.
I
I
mean,
don't
reason
have.
not
I don't have
to.
an issue with it.
Any
The one
other any other wrestling company that you like, I mean, look at just AEW. It's like, oh, this guy's here, former NWA champ, former
Yep.
this. WWE started doing it for a few with New Japan,
Yeah.
and that quickly just stopped. You know what I mean? But like, why not? It doesn't have to be. We're the only company out there. You know what I mean? Like they dip their toe in the water with the Impact Women's Champion or whatever you want to call it, but
Mhm.
like why not? What like
Yeah.
But other people that have left AEW they don't talk about or mention.
No, they still do. And who's left?
No one is left.
and not for nothing too though, if we want to go that far, I mean, not like how many times in any one of those promos leading up to Roman and Seth at WrestleMania, I mean Royal Rumble. How
And
many
they
times
mentioned him,
they
Mox.
mentioned Mox, not even Ambrose,
Mhm.
Mox.
Right.
They kept
Yeah.
calling him Mox.
Mhm.
Go ahead. Sorry.
No, but you know what I mean? Like you put that in the promo, it makes it, I guess, more real
Yeah.
or whatever.
Right.
But same thing. Why not? I mean, and you can't say like WWE doesn't hop on the pass because I mean, if everybody, what we're talking about, friggin' HBK and Stone Cold are going to be main event WrestleMania this year. So it's like, I mean, I don't know. I don't see why you wouldn't bring up the past.
This is what I used to love about ECW and WCW is because the announcers would always talk about this guy's a multi-time champion throughout the world. This guy's won titles here, here, and here. This is a former world champion. In the WWE, you could have someone come in. That guy's never won a title before in his life because it wasn't with their company. They
Right.
won't mention it at all. I say this stuff a lot, but I think about other sports. Wrestling, yes, I get it, it's a work, but it's supposed to have some sort of kayfabe illusion that it's a sport.
Yeah.
And you look at other sports, Tom Brady goes to the Buccaneers because he's playing for them doesn't mean that he didn't win 6 up here in New England.
Right.
It still happened. It's
Mhm.
still talked about. It's still mentioned. And just because Cody Rhodes goes to WWE, they're never going to mention he was their TNT champion. They're never going to mention anything that he did here for the last 3 years. It was never going to be a thought because the world doesn't exist outside of the WWE. They are your narcissistic girlfriend and everything's about them.
So
Although I will
What
pay
happened-
good money for them to say the new Fox TV title.
What happens first?
Well,
What happens
I get
first? Cody Rhodes wrestles in the WWE, Bray Wyatt wrestles in AEW, or Tom Brady comes out of retirement. What happens?
Tom Brady comes out of retirement because he's trying to get with the San Francisco 49ers.
I'd say Cody wrestling, but like as going back to the thing about championships, you're telling me, if WWE brought up the fact that Shinsuke Nakamura is the only person in Japan to beat Brock Lesnar, like you don't think that would have like been
That would have been awesome.
Mhm. Right.
right? But then that just then it makes Nakamura an even bigger deal.
Mhm.
You know what I mean? But it's just you're not gonna do that because, like Tom said, they don't acknowledge anything.
And as you
Outside.
said earlier, they didn't create Nakamura, and that version of Nakamura was in a WWE iteration.
Right.
Right.
They frustrate me. They really do.
Right. And the thing is they have so much good talent and they just don't do anything with it.
100%. I say this every week. Every time Madcap Moss, I say his name so often. He's my Joey Janela. This guy is a guy with a good look. He's a guy that he's jacked out of his gourd. He's got zero body fat. He looks like he can work his ass off, and he's sidelined with this awful, awful gimmick.
Yep.
Right,
Way to
yeah.
do something.
Yeah, he's just, he's
They're
not like
giving him what? Like, this is his fourth gimmick now or something like that?
Yeah.
I mean, at least he's not like the sleepy girl or the Italian guy or the weed smoking guy or
If
the
he was in
black weed
NXT, he
smoking
probably
guy.
would be.
Say it.
Which one? Oh, the gay cowboys.
Nope.
No.
The fighter of the islands?
Oh, the fighter of the islands.
I look forward to that every week. I don't know why. It just makes me so happy.
Street fighter of the islands. The mean islands of Central Florida.
The Keys.